that's when you become content with what you have, where you don't worry about what you have. You want to help somebody else because it makes you feel good, you know, to help other people.
Tony, excuse me just a second. Let me respond though. And I'm not trying to say it's about me, but it is the self-awareness. Because we grow up in a selfish world, as you well know. It's the self-awareness that there's more than you. And it's your relationship with your spouse and with God. And what comes first? What's your relationship with God?
No, and I agree. But then a lot of people don't even become kind of self-aware until they have children. Because when you have a child and you see that thing that can't, you know, it can't even feed itself or whatever, it can't clean itself. You know, a lot of people don't even get it until they have children. Like they fall away from the church, you know, they started in the church and they fall away from the church because the world seduces them and stuff, whatever. Then when they have a child, then all of a sudden they want to go back to church or whatever because it's like you're helpless to help the child, right? You want to raise the child, you want to. So, and again, it becomes not about me or whatever, because in the world it's like it's all about you. But so I'm not understanding what you're saying. I'm just saying, and then you start looking around because you're content. All of a sudden you're like, why am I content? Why am I, you know, why do I feel this way?
Well, I'll tell you, it gives me no greater satisfaction than to watch my grandchildren and my kids pull their hair out about the antics that my grandchildren
Of course, you encourage the grandkids.
All I was going to say was the Greek word, I believe, for eye is eagle.
Okay, maybe you hit the nail on the head, it's a really good thing.
I think a lot of life is a lesson to force you to give up craving what you want so badly that it interferes with the rest of your life. 25 years ago, I was observing another work group and I said to myself, you know what, I would like what I see them doing. I would like the opportunity to do that. Well, the occasion came up where a friend of mine who was in that group got promoted up a notch and his position was open. And so I called him up and said, hey, you know, while you're looking for a new person for that job, please consider me. And he said, I've been considering you ever since I held that job.
Wow.
Well, he was forced to fill that job with somebody else, and it was a equal employment thing, and the person put in that position filled 2 minority slots. And I said, okay, well, I'm pretty glad for her that she got this job that I wanted, but, you know, a few years later, she moved out of that job, and my friend who, you know, had held the job became the boss, called me up and said, guess what? She's moving. I need somebody to fill that job. And I said, when do you want me to show up? Don't worry about telling me what I'm going to do once I get there. And things like that tend to happen only after you don't make that the focus of your life anymore. You get to the point and say, okay, if God or management wants me in that job, it will happen. If they don't want me in that job, it won't happen. So I gave up the craving for that job. Then I got it. The story doesn't have all that happy ending because of downsizing within the company. A colleague retired and management said, you know what, I think boss can do both those jobs. Great. When does a promotion happen? When does more money happen? You don't understand. Then the global boss of that particular position left to go elsewhere, and I said, great. And upper management said, hey, you did so well at taking on his job, you're going to take on his and his. Oh, great. When does a promotion happen?
Yeah.
You don't understand. So be careful what you wish for, because if you get it, it may not be a good deal.
I love some of the dynamics that we're talking about. Sorry, I love some of the dynamics that we're talking about. I think you guys are spot on. It's a balance, right?
Yeah.
If you guys have ever rode in a plane, what do they tell you? If in an instance that we're going down, those things will retract. Make sure you put it on yourself first, so that way then you can go help the next person. So there's a balance, the dynamic that we're talking about. Like Juan mentioned, the first and greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as
yourself.
So there's almost a picture being painted of an overflowing vessel. I heard one of my, I can't remember, one of my favorite quotes is, the best thing you can do as a minister is offer the best self. You can't help someone if you're not first making sure that you're in a position to be able to help that. I think that airplane example is spot on. If we're going down, how can I help the other person if I haven't first made sure? And I think you guys are spot on. That dynamic is super, super hard to keep in balance because the world wants to tell us, shine the light on us and make us be really selfish to where we don't even get to the point of helping the other person with the mask. We're too focused on, putting ours on. It's an interesting balance.
So to add up to that, we can look at fear. Fear could be a major factor because just going back to the illustration of that jet going down, at that moment, it's easy to talk a thing and for the thing to be happening, and then our reaction is different. Now you're not thinking about anything else. You are fearing the situation. So fear is a major factor that causes most of these irrationalities. Yeah. Yeah. Fear.
Is there any thoughts?
Nothing.
Nothing?
That's how you stay happily married.
Yes, dear.
Gentlemen, got the sign sheet here.
We done?
Come visit.
Oh, he's done. Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely close with prayer. That's kind of important, right?
Yes.
Heavenly Father, we just come to you during this time. Man, thank you so much for this space that you created for us as the men of the church. To be able to gather and to sharpen each other, as your word says, as iron sharpens iron. God, we thank you for your Holy Spirit. We thank you that by your love and through the sacrifice of Jesus, that we're able to find contentment in the physical, and the emotional, and the spiritual. God, we ask that you would continue to guide us as the leaders of our families, as the leaders of our household, God, as the leaders of your church, as the leaders of this body. Would you continue to pour into us, that way we can overflow and pour into those that you are directing us to pour into, Father. I thank you for this group of men. I thank you for their hearts and for their time and for their willingness to share these thoughts, God. No things happen by coincidence or randomness. So everything that was spoken this morning, everything that we talked about, Lord, has been by your hand, and I praise you for that. I ask that just as a seed that's planted, that you would allow these words to just come inside of us and to grow into fruitful trees, God. As we head out from this place and begin to work on the pumpkin patch, would you just continue to help us to engage in meaningful conversations and conversations that sharpen one another and encourage one another, God. We give you the praise for this beautiful weather. We give you the praise for this awesome food and awesome conversation that you have given us, Lord. It's in your precious name we lift this up.
Amen.
Craving something. You've had several Mercedes. 50 years I have.
Okay, this ends the little prayer meeting, not prayer meeting, men's breakfast meeting at the Presbyterian Church in Stone Oak, where I was invited just to have a little time in a Bible study that I have not had for a long time. And I was with, I think if you see them, much old guys, but it was okay. I hope to come back again some other time. Everybody dressed down. I came in a suit. I didn't know the dress code, so I had to slack everything and be normal. Oh, my collar, my collar, my collar, my collar, my collar. Oh, my collar. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm recording, I'm sorry. I saw no stuff on my collar here. But I'm signing off now. Oh man, how did that happen? I gotta go back home and get it. All right, ciao.